Hey, Shalom. I'd like to begin first and foremost by saying Barakatah, Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham Rakar Kadash, the warnings to the apostles and orders of great millstones, salutations to the sincere Akim, pushing this truth in all due diligence and sincerity. Revelations 11 and 14, the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. What's that a reference to? World War III. Yeah? Like my guy Donald Trump said to the president of Ukraine in that whole staged act, "You're playing with World War Three. You're playing with World War Three. You don't have the cards and all of that." But guess what? Since then, Donald Trump has gone and he's positioned American nuclear submarines on the coast of Russia. Man, he's playing games, taunting Magog, man, because ultimately it's a fulfillment of prophecy. The World War III, the third war that's prophesied in the scriptures, is going to be fought mainly between America, which is modern day Babylon, modern day Assyria, modern day Sodom and Gomorrah, goes amongst many names, and Magog, Russia today. Because obviously the people living in Russia are Edomites, but in terms of the actual landmass, that's the ancient land of Gog, Magog, that are originally a Japhetic nation, but Esau, Edom, moving up into there and doing his usual demonic activities, pushed the original people out the land. But the land of Magog is modern day Russia today, and they're going to be a major force in this war against Babylon, man. And they're going to be one of them. Of course, America's going to have nuclear missiles shot on her from even her allies all over the globe, right? But we know that through the prophecy. But Magog, pursuant to Ezekiel the 38th chapter, are going to be a major player in that. This is Ezekiel 38. I'll start from 2. Son of man, it's the Lord speaking to the prophet right here. Set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him, and say, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. The Lord is against Russia also, because those Russians, like I said, modern day Russians are Edomites, man. So he's going to pull them into war and ultimately use them as the major force to destroy America, but they're also going to be destroyed as a nation through that. And verse 4, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws. So he's going to draw them out, basically. And I will bring thee forth, and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. This is going to be the war to end all wars, man. Literally the war to end all wars. Because what's happened in modern news is that the ex-president of Russia, that was around just before Putin, still holds a political office in some shape or form in Russia. I'm not sure what his exact role is today, but he's still in the political landscape, and he's basically made some statements about. He's been making derogatory statements about America for years, but he said something recently about Donald Trump ought to remember Russia as a nuclear power. We're not like, and even though Iran's got the capabilities, he said basically we're not like Iran or one other nation. We're not Palestine or Iran. I think Iran was definitely mentioned, but it was another nation. It might have been Palestine, but he basically said we're not like Iran. He said like Russia is the nuclear superpower. Basically saying you fuck around, you're gonna find out. And Donald Trump didn't like that, so you know what he did? As soon as he heard that, he basically gave he signed off the order to get 2 nuclear submarines placed at what he described as convenient locations, basically within easy strike range of Russia. And hey, Russia ain't taking too kindly to that, and it's just causing further escalation. Now, we know they're not going to hit each other with nukes tomorrow. Why? Because the chip is not rolled out worldwide. Because for the end to come, the RFID microchip technology has to be rolled out as the standard. It has to be rolled out as the norm. But it's coming because you've got this universal basic income concept where they're going to be fueling it with AI. Listen, the time to come, digital slavery, man, is not going to be fun. It's going to be digital slavery. It's going to be World War III, mass death, starvation, and burning, man. That's all that's to come on this side, on the Esau Eden, before the earth is taken over in righteousness. But anyway, back in Ezekiel 38 and 4, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. So Russia's going to pull out the stops. America's going to pull out the stops. Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. And these are some of the nations that Russia's going to be a guard onto. But notice the first nation it mentions is Persia. You know the ancient Persians today? The Iranians, man. You know, in the time of the Medo Persians, the Invincibles and all of that, that's them Iranians, man. Ready for war at any given time. Goma and all his bands, the house of Tagama of the North Quarters and all his bands, and many people with thee. America is going to have a lot of enemies, man. You're even going to have de facto NATO nations that switch. Turkey might switch. You know, they've been on the fence for a little while, man. Been a bit iffy for a minute. Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. So Russia ultimately, in the spirit, has been instructed to be a guard unto and a leader onto all the different nations that it has on its side. And don't forget, they also got Moab, man. And Moab has, if not a 1,000,000-man army, something very close to that. You got India as well, another nation with a massive economy and massive army. And Russia, India, and China in particular, part of the BRICS nations. Of course, you got Brazil, South Africa, and you have actually got a lot of other sub nations that are joining. But Russia, India, and China, yeah, are interlocked very closely when it comes to trade, and they're over that region of the world as well in the east, right? America's basically straight up said they will put 100% tariffs on any nation that deals with Russia in terms of trade. So you're talking China, of course, and India also, because India gets a lot of its natural resources and oil from Russia. China has got a lot of the gas from Russia coming, and they also trade in other commodities. Doesn't look like they're gonna stop. They've already got their alternative payment systems, and America's saying, yeah, we'll throw 100% tariff on the goods that you sell, meaning that it's going to be expensive to retail in the US, and as a result of that, trade relations are going to break down. That's going to cause a massive breakdown in international trade, fuck a lot of people up. You got situations like little Taiwan over there, close to China, basically pretty much on the verge of really just getting taken over. All sorts is going on. But this is all the work of the Lord. Because the scripture speaks about the multitudes gathered in the valley of Yehoshaphat. Can't find out exactly what brothers will know what I'm talking about. Gathered in. Can't find exactly what I'm looking for at the minute. It speaks about multitudes gathered in the valley of Yehoshaphat for the Most High's judgment. Yehoshaphat is a reference to Jehoshaphat, which is basically Yahweh in the Hebrew, God, and then Shaphat, judgment, the Most High's judgment, and the valley of decision, man. The Lord is bringing all of these nations together for war, man. That's ultimately what the agenda is: prepare war. What's it? This is the book of this is second Joel 3, starting from 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles: prepare war, wake up the mighty man. Let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. It's a time of this is the time of war. The scriptures will tell you explicitly there's a time of peace, time of war, a time of love, a time for hate. This is the time for war. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles: prepare war, time to kill, a time to make a lot to be born. Prepare war, wake up the mighty man. Let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. There's going to be a draft here in the UK, facts. In the US, 100%. Some of these other nations, military conscription is going to come back in style. Yeah, your Donald Trumps, your Putins, your your G Shings, your Modis, all the rest of these nations, your Keir Starmers, these devils, they're gonna send people, your children to war. They're gonna send the young men to war. The women are gonna lament. Women are gonna be out here back home getting ravished in the streets if they're not in the army for whatever reason. And if you're going over there to the Middle East, man, this war is gonna be fought with burning the fuel fire, man. Nukes. Yeah, you're gonna have certain elements of infantry, certain elements of the Air Force and Navy, because you're gonna have the fighter jets and that around when Yahweh Shai returns. It's all gonna be popping off. But if you're going over there to the Middle East, you're going into a meat grinder. You ain't coming back, man. They might not even be able to return most of the bodies in coffins because they're literally gonna be melted. Yo, listen, judgment is on its way, man. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. The military industrial complex is gonna make so much money, but when those Edomites get taken down, it's gonna get lost anyway. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh, and the angels of the Lord are gonna show their power against Esau and his angels, his fighter jets. Let the heathen be awakened and come up to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat. Yeah, you see, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. And the Middle East, man, the Levant, put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come get ye down, for the press is full, the fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes, multitudes. That's what I was looking for in the valley of decision. Multitudes, multitudes in the valley of decision. For the day of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is near. In the valley of decision. That's right. The valley of the Most High's judgment, man. Spirit, I was looking for that, and then the Lord just directed me. Barakatah Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Multitudes, multitudes in the valley of decision. For the day of the Lord Yahweh is near in the valley of decision. The sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. Hoo. The Lord Yahweh shall also roar out of Zion and utter his voice from Jerusalem. When then after this war, when we will truly be a city of peace, and the heavens and the earth shall shake, but the Lord Yahweh will be the hope of his people and the strength of the children of Israel. That's right. Barakatah Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai Bashim Rakadash. This World War III is a necessary evil. But Yahweh Shai Ratazah, we be members of the elect. No weapons that is formed against us shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise up against us in judgment we shall condemn. Shalom. Kwam Yashala.